The NBA world just witnessed a showdown no one saw coming. LeBron James, furious over comments about his son, walked straight up to Stephen A. Smith, live courtside with cameras rolling. No smiles, no handshakes. Just raw, face-to-face tension. And that was only the beginning. What happened next? Let's just say the drama exploded online, pulling in fans, celebrities, and even 50 Cent. You won't believe how far this feud went, so stick around. Because every shocking moment is about to unfold. The tension was instant the moment LeBron James confronted Stephen A. Smith. This wasn't a casual courtside chat or a playful debate. This was raw, heated face-to-face confrontation. LeBron, furious over comments about his son Bronny, walked straight up to Stephen A., and cameras caught every second of it. No smiles, no handshakes, just pure intensity between two of basketball's biggest personalities. LeBron's frustration was obvious, and it wasn't just about basketball, it was personal. He wasn't going to let anyone question his son Bronny's talent without stepping in. As a father, he felt the need to protect his child, and in that moment, LeBron was done watching from the sidelines. When Stephen A. Smith's comments about Bronny hit the airwaves, LeBron didn't hesitate. He confronted Stephen A. directly, making it clear that some lines weren't meant to be crossed, especially when it came to family. Stephen A., of course, is no stranger to controversy. Never one to back down, he immediately fired back, standing firm with the confidence of a man who's spent decades thriving in the spotlight. For Stephen A., this wasn't just about defending a hot take. It was about owning the moment and showing the world he wasn't intimidated, even by the king of basketball himself. What followed was anything but calm. Instead of letting things die down, Stephen A. took to every microphone, every social media platform, and every show he appeared on to double down. The energy was electric, and fans everywhere watched the drama unfold like a high-stakes reality show. It all started with a comment Stephen A. made on First Take, suggesting Bronny was getting attention more because of his father than his own ability. That understandably struck a nerve. LeBron's reaction was swift and decisive. He walked up to Stephen A. courtside during a Lakers game, leaving no room for misinterpretation. Cameras captured every moment, showing two giants of the game facing off, tension practically radiating from the screen. There were no fake smiles, no polite handshakes, just pure, raw confrontation. It was a moment that had fans across social media holding their breath, knowing this wasn't your typical sports disagreement. The clash sparked an immediate reaction online. Fans began weighing in, dividing themselves across the debate. Some applauded LeBron for standing up as a father, arguing that anyone in his shoes would have done the same. UFC Hall of Famer Michael Bisping even chimed in, saying, "If someone talks about your kid, you're going to feel a certain way. You're going to defend your own, of course." The sentiment hit home with many, highlighting the universal truth that family often changes the rules of engagement. Yet, others sided with Stephen A., claiming that Bronny, while talented, wasn't fully ready for the NBA spotlight and that criticism was part of growing as a player. Critics argued that LeBron may have pushed the father-son narrative too hard, turning what could have been a slow and steady career path into a public spectacle. According to this perspective, real glory comes when a child earns it at the highest level, not when a parent rushes them there for feel-good headlines. Stephen A. didn't shy away from the controversy. On his own show, he insisted that he wasn't attacking Bronny personally. Instead, he claimed he was calling out LeBron for trying to control the narrative and for using the media to present himself as the protective dad. He even admitted that the situation frustrated him all weekend, explaining that his own January plea on First Take, where he urged LeBron to be cautious, was being twisted in the public eye. Fans also started scrutinizing Stephen A.'s history, noting that he has a track record of turning personal feelings into public feuds. His admission that his conflict with Kyrie Irving had more to do with personal issues than basketball added fuel to the fire. People began questioning how many of his so-called hot takes were driven by emotion rather than insight, further intensifying the drama surrounding LeBron's reaction. Meanwhile, LeBron's camp was quietly taking control of the situation. Unlike Stephen A., who thrived on public attention, LeBron and his team played it smart. Instead of responding to every viral clip or every headline, they stayed strategic, letting his reputation and actions speak louder than any comment. Each time Stephen A. spoke, it seemed to only elevate LeBron's standing. His interviews went viral, his image as a protective father strengthened, and his message about family boundaries reached even wider audiences. Adding to the intrigue, Celebrities like 50 Cent watched closely, ready to weigh in at any moment. 50 had defended LeBron in the past, reminding fans of the rarity of his greatness and the pressures that come with it. While he had stayed quiet for now, the world knew it was only a matter of time before he entered the conversation, potentially tipping the scales in LeBron's favor. As the drama continued to unfold, it became clear that this wasn't just a sports story. It was about family, reputation, and the limits of commentary in the modern media landscape. LeBron's frustration, Stephen A's defiance, and the reactions from fans and celebrities created a spectacle that went far beyond the basketball court. In the end, it was a stark reminder that some battles are bigger than the game. They're about standing up for the people you care about most. And no hot take or viral clip can replace that. The situation escalated even further when 50 Cent decided to weigh in. And suddenly it was clear that this wasn't just a private spat between LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith. It had grown into a full-blown public showdown. LeBron's reaction to the ongoing commentary about his son Bronny made it obvious that he wasn't going to stay silent. For a superstar used to commanding respect on the court, this was about more than basketball. It was personal. The protective instincts of a father were on full display, and the world couldn't look away. Cent's involvement added another layer of intensity. Known for his unfiltered takes and viral clapbacks, he doesn't stay quiet when a story involves high-profile figures. Fans were quick to speculate which side he would take, knowing from past incidents that 50 never misses a chance to stir the pot. His presence in the conversation immediately drew more eyes to the feud, amplifying every comment, every reaction, and every subtle jab from both sides. Meanwhile, Stephen A. continued to defend his words, insisting that his commentary was fair game and part of his role as a media figure. But the public spectacle made it hard to separate professional analysis from personal attacks. Social media lit up with debates, memes, and viral clips. Fans were split. Some praised Stephen A. for calling out LeBron, saying he was speaking truth to power, while others sided with LeBron, arguing that any parent would react the same way when someone questions their child. The dynamic between the three figures, LeBron, Stephen A., and 50 Cent, turned the feud into more than just a media story. It became a cultural conversation about respect, boundaries, and the fine line between commentary and personal attack. With each viral clip, each hot take, and each social media post, the tension grew. The world watched as a legendary athlete, a fearless commentator, and a celebrity provocateur collided in a drama that seemed almost scripted, yet painfully real. Ultimately, this showdown raised the question, was Stephen A. simply doing his job as a commentator, or had he positioned himself as the ultimate instigator of NBA drama? LeBron's response, amplified by fans and supported by influential voices like 50 Cent, suggested that some lines, especially those involving family, should never be crossed. And as the story unfolded, it became clear that this was more than a fleeting controversy. It was a clash of personalities, principles, and power, and no one involved was backing down anytime soon. The controversy started earlier when Stephen A. suggested on a First Take segment that Bronny James only got attention because of his father's fame. LeBron, protective as any father would be, wasn't going to let that slide. At Madison Square Garden during a Lakers vs. Knicks game, he confronted Stephen A. directly. No cameras needed, no public relations filters, just a raw, personal exchange. LeBron's message was simple but forceful. Stop dragging my son into this. The tension was so thick you could feel it from the crowd to the cameras. Stephen A., true to form, immediately responded, fueling the fire further and making it clear he thrives on controversy. The confrontation didn't just happen spontaneously. Stephen A. later recounted that LeBron approached him courtside during the third quarter, saying repeatedly, "You have to stop talking about my son. That's my son." Stephen A., however, kept his stance, promising to talk later, while continuing to defend his words. It was an unforgettable moment, not just a father defending his child, but a clash between two giants of the game with the world watching every move. Courtside drama, social media explosions, and personal stakes made this more than just a sports story. It was a real-life showdown that proved some conversations in basketball can't be ignored. Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back this time. He hit the arena and walked the audience through the whole saga step by step, but instead of just defending himself, he went on the offensive. He openly criticized LeBron, saying the king handled the situation all wrong and even called him weak for how he reacted. Just when everyone thought the drama had peaked, Stephen A. turned up the intensity even further. He brought the entire story to his own show, determined to set the record straight. At first, he said he wasn't going to talk about it, claiming he wanted to stay professional. But then, a viral clip of LeBron chatting with Richard Jefferson before a Lakers vs. Celtics game changed everything. That clip seemed to hit a nerve, and Stephen A. snapped. Cameras rolling, he came loaded with receipts. According to him, the whole situation was a misunderstanding. He insisted he wasn't dissing Bronny at all. Instead, he said he was calling out LeBron for trying to control the narrative and twisting words to look like the protective dad on TV. He explained that it bothered him all weekend because he was reflecting on what really set him off, his own plea to LeBron back on January 29th on First Take. Stephen A. clarified. He wasn't questioning LeBron as a father. He said LeBron is a wonderful dad with the best intentions. But your son isn't ready for the pressure of the NBA yet. You had your moment on the court with him. Why put him in that position? Then came the critique that really shook things up. Stephen A. said he would have respected LeBron more if he'd handled it privately instead of confronting him courtside with cameras rolling. He was upset, I could tell, Stephen A. admitted. But a one-on-one conversation would have been the grown-up way to handle this. But he didn't stop there. He made the point that commentators have a job to do. They have to be able to critique players without interference. No one tells Tom Brady he's off limits because of his dad, he argued. If LeBron wants to say Bronny is ready for the big leagues, then Bronny has to be ready to handle criticism. That's how it works. Stephen A. went further, painting LeBron as overly protective. He wants to cry, spike his ball, and go home. A grown man acting like a baby to protect his son's feelings. What is he teaching him about life? The story got even messier when Michelle Beadle of the Run It Back show added her perspective. According to her, LeBron did actually try to reach out privately before the game to smooth things over, but Stephen A. reportedly shut him down, leaving the drama to play out in front of the world. Allegedly, LeBron tried to reach out privately before things got heated, but Stephen A. Smith reportedly ignored him. Instead, Stephen A. chose to go live, turning the drama into full-on entertainment. If anyone was responsible for making it a spectacle, some fans argued it might have been him. Social media quickly exploded, with many fans siding with LeBron. They argued that any father would react the same way if someone publicly disrespected their child. Even UFC Hall of Famer Michael Bisping jumped in, saying, "If he's talking about your son, you're a dad. You're going to feel a certain way. Of course, you're going to defend your own." That perspective resonated with a lot of people because family always changes the rules. But not everyone agreed. Critics like Candace Owens fired back, insisting if LeBron keeps putting his son on the court, he has to be ready for the criticism that comes with it. Opinions were split, and the debate grew wild. Some argued that Stephen A. wasn't attacking Bronny, just pointing out that the young player wasn't fully ready for the NBA spotlight. They claimed LeBron pushed the father-son storyline too hard, turning what could have been a gradual, steady career into a high-pressure spectacle. These critics said the focus should have been on Bronny's long-term growth instead of creating a feel-good moment for cameras. Real success, they argued, comes when your child earns it at the highest level, not when you rush them there for a headline. The conversation heated up even more after a recent Lakers win over the Timberwolves. LeBron's performance was strong, but the face of the league debate popped up again, with some questioning why LeBron acts surprised when his son receives the same criticism other players face. One post put it bluntly, "If you want your son in the big leagues, he's going to get big league criticism." Yet another wave of fans defended LeBron, praising him for standing up for his family. Many felt Stephen A. had gone too far, constantly targeting Bronny while ignoring other players who had underperformed. Fans argued this was LeBron taking control of the narrative, protecting his family, and sending a clear message that no one profits from dragging his name and his sons into the spotlight. The debate isn't just about basketball. It's about family, respect, and the pressures of the spotlight. And for many, it showed a side of LeBron fans rarely see. A father willing to step in when he feels his child is being unfairly attacked. Fans weren't holding back either. One pointed out, "Where's that same energy for the #1 pick? Oh wait, nobody even knows who that is because talking about him doesn't pay Stephen A.'s bills." And honestly, they had a point. Stephen A. has built his career on stirring the pot, making headlines, and never backing down. Just look at his ongoing feud with Kyrie Irving. In fact, Stephen A. later admitted that his beef with Kyrie wasn't even about basketball. He confessed it was personal, driven by his own issues, not what happened on the court. That revelation made many fans question how much of his commentary is genuine analysis versus emotional outbursts dressed as hot takes. LeBron, of course, is at the top of the list of those fed up with Stephen A's constant drama. Recently, the King made it clear he's had enough, showing the world he's done letting a commentator manipulate reputations under the guise of sports talk. Even Stephen A admitted some players have cut him off over his behavior. He specifically mentioned Draymond Green, saying, "I haven't spoken to him since, and he has no desire to speak to me primarily because of this." That's a big deal coming from someone who used to pride himself on being close to players. Then came an update from LeBron's camp. Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, told reporters that things between LeBron and Stephen A have officially cooled off, at least publicly. He said, "As adults, you try to handle things the best way possible, so I'm glad they were able to move on. But with so many media platforms today, sometimes commentary starts to feel personal." Paul emphasized keeping business separate from personal relationships, but admitted the lines can blur. Despite the public peace, fans aren't buying it. Social media is buzzing with calls for Stephen A to be humbled, pointing out that he's been talking reckless for years without facing consequences. Many believe LeBron's team is staying quiet strategically to avoid giving Stephen A another viral moment to exploit. And honestly, that might be LeBron's smartest move yet. Sometimes the best way to win a war of words is to simply stop feeding it. But here's the twist no one saw coming. Stephen A may have finally realized he picked a fight he can't win. Rumors are circulating that ESPN executives are growing uneasy with how far this feud has gone, signaling that even the man who thrives on drama might be facing limits to his antics. What started as a heated courtside moment has snowballed into a full-blown media circus. Sponsors and network insiders are reportedly telling Stephen A to dial it back before it starts costing the network big money. Meanwhile, LeBron's camp is playing chess while Stephen A is still playing checkers. Instead of reacting publicly, LeBron's team is staying quiet, letting his actions and reputation do the talking. Every time Stephen A speaks out, LeBron's name trends, his interviews go viral, and his image as a protective father grows even stronger. In a way, Stephen A is giving him free publicity without realizing it. Now, word is that LeBron's inner circle is quietly warning media outlets to tread lightly when it comes to brawny coverage. It's not an official statement, but sources say they're done letting broadcasters use the James family for ratings. And then there's 50 Cent, the wild card of every celebrity feud. So far, he's stayed quiet on the LeBron versus Stephen A drama, but insiders say it's only a matter of time before he weighs in with his signature clapback. 50 has defended LeBron before, like when Julius Erving left him off his all-time top 2 NBA list. 50 fired back, reminding everyone how rare LeBron's greatness is. If it was that easy, we'd have 3 or 4 LeBrons by now, but there's only one. So the big question now, will 50 side with LeBron again? Or will he surprise everyone and back Stephen A? Whatever happens, it's guaranteed to get wild. At the end of the day, this isn't just about basketball. It's about family, respect, and lines that maybe shouldn't be crossed. Was LeBron just protecting his son, or did Stephen A go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, share with your crew, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Stay tuned. Sometimes the truth hits harder than the headlines.